Councilman Needham, Councilman Bill, Supervisor Runyon,
Here.
Councilman Brown, Councilman Volusia.
Here.
The purpose of the meeting is the budget workshop, but there are 3 resolutions that I would like to do first. The first resolution is to introduce the tax cap override local law and provide for the public notice and hearing. We did a resolution about overriding the tax cap at the last meeting, but the town clerk informed me that I needed a specific resolution stating that we're gonna hold a public hearing and giving her permission to publish it into the official newspaper. So does someone bring that to the floor?
I will.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Whereas a local law entitled Tax Levy Limit Override for fiscal year 2026 is hereby introduced, and copies of the proposed local law have been provided to each member of the Thurman Town Board. Be it resolved that the Town Board shall hold a public hearing regarding the proposed local law at the Town Hall, 311 Athol Road, Athol, New York, 12810. And resolved that the Town Clerk shall publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the Town of Thurman no later than 5 business days prior thereto. Before we vote, I just want to check with Cynthia on one thing. Do we need the date, November 6th date in this resolution?
Can't hurt.
Okay.
The ad's already sent in because so we're ahead of the game. Okay.
So the date for this will be the same as the other public hearing. We'll have them together on November 6th of 2025, if that's okay with everyone here. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 The second resolution just came in today. This was a request for support. Congressman Nick Langworthy is seeking support from local municipalities for the Energy Choice Act, which would give us the freedom of the type of energy we use. We would not, if he's trying to avoid the 100% electric law that was passed. So in front of you is this resolution. This is exactly what came over. All I did was put in our town board of the town of Thurman. Do you want me to read this?
I read through.
You read it already?
Yeah, I've read through it.
You read through it too? Okay. In regards to this though, I have been informed by somebody that if you live in an area where you lose power twice a year, you could be exempt from that all-electric rule. There are waivers and other ways around it, but I think what they're trying to do is eliminate it from being a law at all. So, someone will bring that to the floor then?
I will.
Good, okay, and a second? I'll second it. Okay. It's a resolution in support of Congressman Nick Langworthy's Energy Choice Act and in opposition to government mandated natural gas bans. You both have read it, so we can vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No. I haven't had time to review it or to review the issue, so I can't vote on it.
Oh, that, it doesn't pass.
Do you know if they're trying to get rid of natural gas altogether?
Yes. New construction after January 1st, they're gonna require it to be all electric.
I haven't had time to research it, so, I mean, I just saw this resolution when I walked in here.
Yeah, I just got it too, it just came in today.
Loocal's been trying to push this for a while.
It is, it's a
They're
law.
not trying to push it, but if they're eliminating natural gas and my power goes out and my generator runs on natural gas, where does that leave me?
Exactly,
That's right.
I have no electricity.
It's
right?
like they want you to,
Well, it's for
Like
everything, it's all your appliances, I mean.
everything, yeah.
To be clear, we don't have natural gas here, we only have
No, but
propane.
Well, propane,
It
yeah,
means
that's,
propane too.
But does that mean we can't have propane generators?
that's kind of what I.
Well, that's where I'm saying I haven't done any research on it, so I don't know. I can't make an informed
But
vote.
20 years ago, they didn't want you to have any electric appliances, they wanted them all to run off of gas.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
they tried to do away with electric stoves, now we're going the opposite way.
well, I just think from what I was told, we'd be exempt, because we lose power more than twice a year, I'm sure you do too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so there are waivers and there are ways
We sure
around it.
do.
So for us, it's not, that extreme really, because if that's the truth and we can get that waiver, I know we all lose power at least twice a year. But they just ask for support. All right, and then the third resolution is, the town clerk would like to attend the New York City classes, but I didn't get any paperwork on it, so if you could just let us know what it is.
Yeah, it's a early, if you pay for it this year, you get the early bird special. So you pay less on the registration, less on the rooms. So it's $150 for the registration and $303 per night for the rooms. And it goes up after, well, one goes up, the registration goes up October 31st and the room goes up like beginning of November.
And this is the annual Association of Towns meeting with all the training and everything else that you can get.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a bus, there'll be a bus.
Yeah, that I can't tell you how much it costs yet because we don't know it.
And
So,
is it 2 nights,
3 nights.
3 nights?
Yeah, so it's $909.
Okay. So I just need someone to bring that to the floor then,
I will.
Okay. Will you second it, Doug? And does anybody else, I haven't got any information on it, but do either of you wanna go?
It's out in February, right?
Yeah.
It's
President's
hard for me
Week.
to go. I can't. It's just my busy
You wanna
time.
go?
Come on, Doug.
I mean, I would love to go if it was any other time of year, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just can't do it.
And then, so the new members coming in, they'd be able to go, right, to this?
Oh, yeah.
Only we'd pay more because of.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
new members should attend the newly elected
Yeah.
officials training in Albany.
Oh, it's in Albany, okay.
Well, they have 2 sessions. They have one in Albany and then usually one in the western part of the state.
Okay,
And that's 3 days.
Yeah.
And they have multitude of classes. You and I attended some of it.
Yeah, those are good.
that's separate though, newly elected is separate from this, okay.
Any new board member should always attend that, in
Mhm.
my opinion.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Randy voted, Doug seconded. Is there any further discussion before we vote? No? Okay, all in favor say aye.
I
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, and then we're on to the budget.
do privilege of the floor before you.
Oh, I wasn't gonna have
Okay.
privilege of the floor, we're just gonna.
I
vote.
got nothing to say.
Huh?
I said, I got nothing to say.
Brian's the only one here and he doesn't have anything to say. Okay.
Okay, so what you have in your packet, that looks like this. Now that is the actual budget itself, but on this sheet, it was requested we have the actual from last year. So the first column here is 2024, where, over here, that's 2024. Expended, the next to that is what it was as of July 31st, which was when I created this in the system. So we can ignore that, cause that's not accurate anymore. Then the 2025 budget, that is accurate. If it's been modified, it'll be below, you'll see a number, then another number right below it. And then the proposed budget for 2026 is on the far right-hand side.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
Hmm?
I appreciate this.
Oh, yeah, no problem. So what this is showing, I figured the best way to do it is just page by page, line by line. Okay. The first one is the real property taxes. 2024, I don't need to read every one, you can look at them yourself, but I just wanna show you that it's gone down every year. Property taxes were 319,000 one year, then 299, now this year's budget shows 272, 676. That's what we would need in property taxes. Other payments in lieu of taxes, that is pilot program. I always put 1,000, even though this year shows that we did get over 4,000, we don't know how much we're going to receive, how much logging is there going to be. So I would play it safe and just put 1,000. Interest and penalties, that's the money that Jamie collects when people are late paying their taxes. Usually I always put 3,000, you can see that we did get 3,424, and then this year there were more people paying late, we got 3,924. I still like to keep it at 3 just in case. Occupancy tax, I put 30,000. So far, we did get that 6,474, and we did get the 20,000 extra this year, but it isn't guaranteed, and so I just played safe and put 30,000 there. That's in and out anyway, I mean, we can't use it for offsetting any other items, so it really doesn't matter what goes there. Non-property tax distribution is our sales tax. I put 450,000 in. Let's see, I did bring, I don't have a copy for everyone, but I can just tell you where we're at with sales tax right now. We had in the budget 550,000, 100,000 for highway, and the other 450 in the general fund. We now need 160,908 to make our budget amount, and last year we took in 183,850. So I believe we're on target to meet our budget and maybe have 20,000 or so more than we need. So that's why I put the 450 because I think that's a safe number. And if you need to see anything, there's that number here. Okay, the next number is clerk fees. That's usually 500. 2024 we got 527, so that's a safe number there. Garbage removal and disposal, that's 20,000. We did get 21,297 in 2024. It's safe to just put 20, I like rounded whole numbers. Interest and earnings, last year we did get 30,546. I put 20,000 in, that's what the budget was. Interest rates are dropping. Right now it's 4.11%, so we're losing our 5.5 that we used to get. So to be safe, I put 20,000 there. Dog licenses, I put 100. Fines and forfeited bail, I put 600. The sale of scrap, I put 1,500. A lot of these are the same as they were the year before. The miscellaneous here that's in the 2,700s, I have zeros there because they're unknown. The community garden, I usually get something. One time we got a Generous Act grant. Sometimes the historian or the youth, they do fundraisers, but I don't want to put those numbers in the budget because I have no idea what they will be. So I just leave them at 0, and if they do earn money and spend it, it's a wash. And it'd be allocated specifically to them, it doesn't really affect the rest of the budget. The state aid and revenue sharing, 21,996, that number's been consistent now for many years. The mortgage tax, I put 20,000, that's normally what I put in there, but it is falling a little short of that. 2024, we got 17,106. This year, so far, 4,972, but we are expected to get 10,695 coming in. That's what we got in November, was 10,695. So if we stay consistent with that, we'll have a little over 15,000. That money comes in at the end of November. Programs for the aging, no, we don't get any revenue from there anymore. Youth programs,
Can I
you'll
ask
see.
a question on that?
Yeah, sure.
Program for the aging, didn't we just put $1,000 into that at the last meeting?
That is for the expense of it. This is the
The
revenue.
revenue of it.
Yeah, we don't get any revenue anymore. But we do pay for the bus.
That
They
comes
went
out
to
of
the
the
bus
general
now. Hmm?
That comes out of the general fund, the
The
expense.
bus, yeah. And the bus, well, you'll see when we get there, but it was 1,500, now it's 2,000. But this is the revenue side, and we don't get any
Yeah.
revenue. The youth programs, you'll see over 14,000 last year, that's because we did a grant for sports, for archery, and we did get 14,000 for our archery program. That's over, that's a first time and only time thing. So we know that we're going to get a little over 2,800, like 2,841 is our grant for this year. And then October of 2026, we're due to get some more money, but it's usually small, and I have no idea what it will be. So I leave that at 20, the 2,800 is strictly not any sports related, it's just general youth. And then the appropriated reserve, the 50,000 that's there, that is for the C&D. The 50,000 we have to put away every year. And now into the appropriations. What I did for all of the .1s for the salaries was I raised them 3.5%. So that's why you'll see the number slightly higher than the year before.
That
Mm-hmm.
3.5% was for a lot of them, but some of them are much more than that.
Shouldn't be. You mean on the .1s?
Yeah, hold on a second, let me just, I thought that I looked at this.
Well,
Yours is going up 12.2%.
because I didn't get a raise last year, that's why I did that for mine.
Okay.
But yeah, the town board is up higher, I was trying to find, like, it came to 14,407, but I tried to make it divisible.
The
by
town
four.
board's only 3%. From what I'm looking at here.
Oh, you're looking at the budget amount?
Yeah, budgeted amount, we went from 14,200 to 14,628.
Oh, and it would be 697. There would be a 697. I was just trying to make it divisible by 4 for the 4 people.
I don't understand.
Well, if I divide that by 4, it's not an even number. I was trying to come up with an even number. That's what I did there.
So, but we're budgeting 14,628, right? Or no?
15,
Yeah, and that would be 3,657 each.
15, not 14.
Wait a
You
minute.
said 14, 628. This was-
That's what's,
14,628.
that's what's in the budget.
1,200
14,628.
would be 14,697.
Okay, you guys are using numbers that I don't see in front of me.
If you take our budget this year
Yeah,
and times it by 3.5%.
right, but the proposed budget for 2026 is 14,628.
Right, and it would be 14,697.
It said 15.
That's total with the contractual. No, this is the salaries.
That's the salary figure.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at.
Alright, that's what
Oh, yeah, you're looking at the total for the town board, yeah, including the contractual.
Right.
Right.
So the total for the town board has gone up 3%. But if you look at the justices, the justice PS, that went up 4.3%. The director of finance went up 4%. The assessors is a whole different thing, we gotta talk about that. Dog control, I realize these are small dollar amounts, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, see, I'm just trying to make it work with the payroll.
I
That's what
realize.
I'm doing.
It's 11.1%. Superintendent highways went up 5.2%. Garbage, PS went up 10.8%, and PS2 went up 11.1%.
Okay, when you get to the landfill though, that's union, so I don't have enough, that's not 3.5%, the union are separate, they're $1.50.
Charlie said he wasn't part of the union.
Huh?
Charlie wasn't part of the union.
Yeah, Charlie's in the union.
I thought he said he did not want to be part of the union.
Well, he is in the union.
We may get $1.50 this year, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Thought we were doing away with one position now.
Doing away with what?
A position at the transfer station.
I was gonna bring that up because we talked about that before, but
You did away with it last year, and then they decided to keep you on.
Yeah, I know. I asked Ed what he wanted to do about that, and I wish he was here to address it, but
I mean, I don't know if you wanna talk about that now, cause we haven't got to that line item, because I do wanna talk about that, so. I mean, some of these are small dollar amounts, so I mean,
I
whether
know.
it's 3 or 4 or 5%, it doesn't really matter to me, I don't care. But some of them are substantially different than
yeah,
3.5%.
no, you're right, they are.
And I think you're being generous at 3.5%. The rest of the county between 2.5 and 3.
Yeah, they are. Well, I know one town is 3, they went 3.
I mean, I don't have any problem with what you're asking for in an increase, and I don't know if I'm even supposed to be talking, but you did get a huge raise at the county last year. And if you weren't a supervisor at town of Thurman, you wouldn't have got that as a huge raise. What was it, 6,500 or 6,000 last year you got?
Yeah, because we haven't gotten one in years, but that has nothing to do with my job here, that has to do with the work I do there.
But if you didn't have a job here, you wouldn't have a job there.
True. Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's an addition, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, but that's an addition to your pay. If you weren't a supervisor here, you wouldn't be getting any money from the county, so.
And
I
I wouldn't be
believe that's a
working there
raise.
either. I wouldn't be working there, so I work there, you know what I mean, I do a lot of work there.
You do a lot of work there for the town of Thurman in the county level, so you add that in your town, what you're making in the town, that's your yearly income between the two of them. If you weren't a supervisor, you wouldn't be working at the county, so.
Yeah.
If you don't add the two of them together, I mean, I read all reports about the county level that people say they haven't got a raise in years. You get a raise at the county, cost of living raise every year.
No, we do not.
I think you better look at your
The
reports.
supervisors did not get a raise last year. No, they did not. So. I mean, yeah, we did get it for this year, 2025, but prior to that, we did not get a raise. No, we did not.
So, I mean, I just feel like when we're doing raises, unless there's some position that needs to be brought up to be comparable to what surrounding towns, I mean, we did this a couple of years ago for the highway superintendent because he was underpaid compared to other towns. So I have no problem bringing a position up to be comparable, so we're fair. But once we've done that with any particular position, I think we should be fair as far as the set percentage that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, I mean, 3% is more than what probably most people in the private sector are getting. So I would be comfortable if we did 3% across the boards, and given that you didn't get a pay raise last year, do 3% on last year's salary, and then another 3% on top of that, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
That's,
I'll run those
I
numbers.
think that's fair, I mean, 12.2% I think sticks out, because that's way more than anybody else in here is getting. Which I understand you didn't get a raise last year, I understand that, so.
It was a tight budget last year. This year, there's a lot more room to do stuff like that.
But the union employees are getting 5% this year.
They're getting $1.50 an hour.
Yeah, which factors up to about 5%.
Mm-hmm.
You got 16% last year, and then they get 5% this coming year, and in 2027 they get another 5%.
Another $1.50. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, well then we'll leave the point ones off then, and I'll just run a straight 3% and see where that leads us.
And on your salary, just to be fair, do 3% from last year and then 3% on top of that, so
Okay.
that's,
Mhm.
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
If you guys agree with that.
I'll run those numbers, that's fine, I'm okay with that.
As far as so as far as the transfer station, those numbers are locked in by
Union contract.
the union contract?
Yeah.
Both positions?
Yes, they're both in the union.
I don't know why, but I thought I recalled that Charlie wasn't.
I think Charlie said once he didn't want to be part of the union, but in order to work up there, I believe you have to be a union member. Because when they add a union member, whoever works there is also part of the union, whether you want to be or not. I believe.
I don't know.
At
He's
once
always
Charlie
been-
said he didn't want to be part of the union, I believe I remember that.
He's always been in the
Yeah,
union now.
since,
I know,
since
10
they've been in
years.
the union, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one position that I did wanna talk about out of all these is the assessor, obviously.
Mhm.
We've gone from paying the assessor, let's see, the chairman was getting, let's see, $23,180, and now we've got $50,000 in the budget,
Because there's no clerk, so if you add them together,
okay?
that would be 43,634, but, when I spoke to her about being hired, that she wanted 50,000, and she is in here, she's been in here 12 hours a day.
Not questioning her work ethic,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she's gonna do a good job, I have no doubt about that. I guess what I have a problem with is that at no point has the board discussed, making that a full-time position. We haven't passed a resolution or anything that says that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before we're gonna budget this kind of money, I mean, we need to decide what hours that office is gonna be open. And then we can assign a salary to it, but to put a salary in here, we don't even know what hours, I mean, I'm not saying she's not gonna work enough hours, I'm confident that she's gonna put the time in to do the job right,
Mm-hmm.
but the town board does need to set the hours for that office.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than any other appointed position. I mean, even the clerk's office, the clerk gets to work what hours she wants, but the town board gets to set the hours for the office. Is that not correct?
I don't believe that's correct.
I'm pretty sure it is. I looked it up before I came.
How, what do you mean? Oh,
So the town board gets to say what hours the clerk's office is open, but the clerk gets to decide what hours they work.
oh,
Because
well,
they're elected.
right, but if the
Elected
town,
officials.
yeah, but if the town board wants the clerk's office open a certain amount of hours, they gotta give her plenty of money for deputy too.
Yes. So the difference,
Yeah,
the difference being elected officials get to set their own hours.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
elected officials, that's true of all of them. But all appointed offices or officers have their hours set by the board. I'm pretty confident in that. I read that before I came. So if we're gonna talk about this being a full-time position, which I'm not convinced that it should be, I mean, Thurman's much smaller than any other town, and other towns don't even have full-time positions, so, I mean, I question why that should be a full-time position. I have, since we discussed it before, but, if we're gonna make that a full-time position, we need to discuss it and pass a resolution to that effect. And keep in mind, if we make it a full-time position, then we then have to pay benefits.
Mm-hmm.
The other assessors get benefits?
Yes. Ours, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, no, they didn't. Sue did, but Tuck didn't.
Okay, Sue's had benefits, sure.
She had dental though, she paid for that herself, she didn't have health insurance because they didn't need it. They were insured in
she paid for it.
another way.
But how did they get benefits if they weren't working 32 hours?
Okay, they gotta work for 32 hours to get benefits.
They didn't. Sue paid for her own health insurance.
Yeah,
Or
Okay,
she paid,
Yeah.
right, didn't she pay?
she only had dental and she
She,
paid for it.
yeah, she had the option to
that's all
do
she
that.
had, she didn't have all her health insurance?
No.
Okay. So the two employees that worked in there did not have any benefits paid for by the town.
Right, they're insured in
Okay.
another way.
So now if we make that position full-time, we're going from $43,634 that we were paying for two people to work in there. Now we're gonna pay one person $50,000 and we're gonna add benefits on top of that.
Right,
How much are the benefits gonna cost us for a year?
it's gonna probably be, it depends if it's employee and spouse or not, but it's gonna be probably about 22,000.
And I guess I'm questioning, why does that office need to be open 5 days a week? Why does it need to be a full-time position? and this is no reflection on the person working there, I wanna keep saying that, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
Well, then
It's
I
just,
think
we're
we
a
should-
small town, and why do we need a full-time assessor?
Because of the workload she's gonna have. If she's gonna be doing if she's gonna be in here that many hours, then that's what it's gonna be, full-time. She can't, how's she gonna work less hours?
It shouldn't be that many hours, we only have 1,200 parcels in this town.
Mm-hmm.
And once they're done, I mean, it's a matter of keeping up with any changes, but
3
I
months
think-
out of the year, they're busy.
I think
After
we need
3
to have a
months,
discussion with her. I think we need to have her come in.
I mean, it was done, there was a period, a stretch where if you looked at the state website, which I can't direct you to it off the top of my head, but it's through the Office of Real Property Tax Services. It's basically each assessor has a report card in there, they look at all the different metrics, and we were at 100% valuation for several years.
Long ago.
Just a few years ago, it wasn't that many years ago.
2017.
2004 to 2009, it was a
Okay.
5-year deal.
Okay,
I think 2018, when I first came as bookkeeper, we were at 100%, and that was 2017.
okay, whenever it was, my point is, they were able to do that as a part-time position. So, I just, I'm questioning why we're going to a full-time position. That's all
I think
I'm
we should
asking.
have a meeting with her so she can explain that to you. I think we need to have her come
Has
in.
she done the job long enough to know how much time it's gonna take?
She's done a lot.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at the office, I mean, what she's doing is great, and I don't have a problem with it,
I agree, but I don't think it takes 40 hours.
I mean, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks out of the year, for a town of only 1,200 parcels? I mean, and 40% of it is state land,
I think you,
and we don't have that many sales per year, so how much changes? It's like,
The sales,
I
they don't change it.
the biggest thing they do, I mean, other than the tax roll every year, is to give people their forms for their exemptions and make sure people get signed up for their exemptions.
It all happens the first of the year.
Yeah.
You gotta have all your paperwork in by March 1st. That's where was born on the 31st, so I lost all my exemptions because I was born 30 days too late for the qualifications.
well, I think we need to have her come in, and I think we need to have a discussion with her about all this stuff, because I think she's expecting to be full-time and expecting to have benefits.
I realize, but before we made that commitment to her, the board should have passed a resolution if that's what we were gonna do. We didn't do it, and now it's in the budget. It's kind
And
of,
now you're talking $70,000 if we supply her with medical insurance. And her and her husband, if it's $20,000 in medical insurance, now it's costing taxpayers $70,000, not $50,000. Correct?
Yeah.
well, it was 43, was the total.
But I'm looking at the budget in front of me.
Right.
$20,000 in medical insurance on top of the 50, now we're talking $70,000 for an assessor.
I mean, I'm just questioning the need for it. I mean, it's
Well,
ours.
we're gonna have to talk to her about what she has planned and what she has found in there and why she feels that that would be necessary. I think we need to have a meeting, the whole board and her, have a meeting, go into executive session and talk about that.
Okay.
Just to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So then point one is I'm gonna move to 3%, other than the people that are in the union. And we're gonna call her, get an appointment with her, all meet with her. And then we'll move on now to anything that's not a point one. Okay. So the town board contractual, it's been 1,000 for a long time, we hardly ever use it, that can stay the same. The justice's contractual is only 800, it was prior year more than that because they needed other equipment in there that they've already purchased, so 800 would be fine there. ordered. It was 5,100 the year before that. The next one would be tax collection. Jamie did a budget sheet for me, and with the extra postage and the seminar that she's attending, she said 4,525 is what she put down. It's only a little more than the year before, so that's what I put in. Oh, I meant that's her salary, I'm sorry, the contractual was 4,200, that's what she thought she would need. Before she went to seminar, she had a partner and they shared the course, and now she's gotta pay for it herself, she's going on her own. The assessor we already talked to about that. Her contractual, I have 3,000. I do know she needs a filing cabinet and her classes, whatever other classes she'll be taking.
Well, we're talking about assessor contractual. I know in the past, the assessor has used the, highway department vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, are they gonna continue to be available? I know there was some issues with that. One of the things she has to do is go out and inspect properties to
Mhm.
assess them. And also when there's modifications made to a property, she finds out about building permits and stuff to go add those modifications to the tax roll and stuff. So
Yeah.
she does have a fair amount of field work to do. I mean, are we at some point gonna be faced with purchasing a vehicle?
No, I don't think so. I'd rather pay mileage than pay for a vehicle.
That's if they wanna use their own car.
Yeah, if she does want to. I know Tuck did, and he had the magnets that said Town of Thurman that he would put on his vehicle to drive around. Other than that, yeah, she'd be welcome to use that, but it would be like a Ford F-350 truck she'd be driving around, so
Mhm.
being that she's got a hybrid, it might be easier to pay the mileage. But whatever, that would be something I'll put down to discuss
Okay.
with her too. Okay, and then. Town clerk contractual, I have 1,500, that's because last year she did, what did you get last year? I think your computer and a chair, right, that you don't, so I lowered the contractual to 1,500. The attorney, I increased to 15,000 in anticipation of Bob Hafner helping me with the highway garage. We have the funding, we just don't have the cost analysis from the engineer, they're working on that, and the attorney will be submitting that to the comptroller for our approval, and any other work involved with the bond.
You said we have the funding?
Mm-hmm. I have someone who's got a bond ready for 4.5 million, but we can't move ahead because I don't have an updated cost sheet to send to the comptroller for approval to bond.
Who's the bond with?
It's through Jake Post, the one we got all our vehicles from. He is like the middleman, and I don't know who the lender is. The bond attorney is going to reach out to them and make sure that it's legit, and also seek other sources of the funding to make sure we're getting the best deal. So that's what Bob would be working on.
And that's for 4.5 million.
Yeah, 4.5 million, but Bob can't move forward until we have the sheet from Seaboard.
And
With the cost sheet that he needs to submit.
what are the terms?
25-year.
25-year?
Mm-hmm.
One interest rate?
And I don't know the exact interest rate, I backed it in, I think it's like 5, but I know the payment, I think, was $353 a year.
Okay.
And that's, the engineer contractual, I lowered down to 50 because we did pay most of what was on their sheet of the work that they already did.
Okay.
The elections contractual, I get a sheet on that, and I know the exact number, 1,750.
Mm-hmm.
And then buildings contractual, I have 35,000 there. Same as this year.
The buildings, personnel services, that's for,
And Louis,
That, yeah, that's Ed's 10 hours a week and station and we wanted to move it to buildings.
No, I'm not saying that,
Oh.
I'm saying that there should be a buildings PS1 and a buildings PS2, I think is.
Oh, you want me to separate the people?
Right.
Okay,
because-
I can do that.
Yeah.
Unallocated insurance, I have 40,000 in the budget, and, let's see, I don't know the exact number, because that's paid already. Um, We paid this year 35,721. And that will be a little higher when we get the tractor and put it on, insuring that vehicle. So I thought 42,000 was safe.
Okay.
The dues, I put 2,000 down. That's for like association of towns and stuff like that. And contingent, I increased to 20,000, cause I'm not sure how close I'm gonna be on some of the other things, the engineer, the attorney, I just wanted to have a little bit more cushion. Code enforcer contractual, there's really nothing that he needs, he has plenty of tickets and notices and stuff like that, so I just kept him at 250. Animal control, I have 3,500 for the contractual.
Oh, okay. Now, most of that contractual, that's for the boarding of animals and things like that?
Yeah, it's for the fee on the boarding.
Okay, at one point, I talked to Brett and, we had an issue with a dog up on our road. And he was
Yeah.
gonna talk to you about getting some, have heart traps for
I
larger
did.
dogs.
We did get it.
We did get those.
Yeah,
Okay.
the big heart, the heart daddy wanted, yeah, and thank you very much for figuring out how to get that dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he does have that big head heart job.
good,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, let's see. Next is the lab. I increased that because it was higher than I expected it to be. See, we had to do a budget to modify, you could see it was 2 and I put, now it's 4. We had to modify it because of all the testing they're doing, and then I didn't realize that they're still testing the well, which is almost $1,500 when they do that, but Ed told me that we're near the end of the amount of years that they have to test the well. So we might only have a year or 2 more of paying for that.
Does that include sampling for the salt contamination?
Includes all the well testing of the people and our well here. And any homes, also there was another resident that was concerned about her well, even though she's not on the system. I told her, you just call and they'll come and test it, and they did, and it was negative, but
Okay.
yeah, it covers all the testing that we do. It also covers drug testing for the highway superintendent, highway department, all that. Ambulance, I increased to 75,000. They have not sent me anything requesting any dollar amount, but last year they got a significant increase, so I was hoping 75,000 would be okay. Let's see. And then for the highway superintendent's contractual, that's 250 for anything like if he needed a chair or whatever he might need over there, calculator. The garage contractual, that is 70,000. 50,000 of that is for the C&D closure. That's where I put that number to show it on the expense. And 20,000 is their actual contractual for their porta-john, propane, stuff like that. Street lighting, that's 1,500. It was 1,000. That the National Grid bill's gone up a little, so I put 15 there. Veteran services stayed the same at 250. And then programs for the aging, that I put 2,000, cause I know that's what it's gonna be, that's the number that we're gonna have. Occupancy tax contractual, that should have to match what I have for the revenue. If we get more revenue, I can increase both those numbers. Youth services, contractual, I have 2,800 in there because I know that's what we're going to receive from the county. And when it comes to the historian's salary, she was always, like, I really increased her salary more because she's doing a lot more. She's spending a lot more time than she used to now, so.
I have no problem increasing something like that if
Yeah.
somebody's putting the time in. That's,
Right, she is.
I don't view that as a pay raise, that's an increase in hours.
Yeah, that's an increase in hours, definitely. She is doing a lot more.
That's fine.
And then what's this one? Oh yeah, her historian for her contractual, I moved that up to 2,002 because she's doing a lot with pictures and artwork that people are contributing to her and framing them.
Good.
You'll be seeing them around here, you know, Ed's been working to hang them with her, so that's why I increased hers. The community garden, I have that at 0 because, I know that I did sign that one paper for 1,100, but I'm not sure, so I don't have it in as revenue or expense. When I know exactly what's coming in, I'll increase them with a budget adjustment, but they don't affect any of our other numbers, so. We don't have a payment on the garbage truck anymore, we have nothing there on the equipment anymore, so it's all contractual. It was high in 2024 because they did a lot of excavating there with putting down all that rock. And that was mostly an excavator rental and shoulder stone that caused it to be 49,000. We're not gonna have that anymore, so I lowered it back and I put it to 23,000. Cemetery contractual, I put that as 1,200, and that covers, see, Scott Brown is in the union as well. So that would cover his clothing allowance and his mileage. And any other things if we buy, like this year we bought, a weed whacker. The year before we had bought a lawnmower, so that's what that covers. And then the other things at the bottom here, employee, well, state retirement, I know that number, I have that invoice, it's much higher this year than it ever was before. We're up to, I think we went from 80-something thousand, and now we're at 97,787, so it's gone up significantly.
Which line are you on?
I'm on the state retirement line.
Okay.
So it says 25.5 because when the bill comes in, I need to allocate it based on department, based on tier. I have a spreadsheet that I figured all out to find out how much is A and how much is DA. So highway, you'll see highway's much higher. This is state retirement only for the general fund employees.
Right.
Social security is based on the pay, so I add up all the .1s and .12 and all, and then calculate out the percentage. So that number will change if the salaries go down. Workers' comp, I know that exact number. I get a bill from Warren County, so again, I do the same thing. I break it out by highway or general fund, and it's done two ways, claims-based and payroll-based. So I have a spreadsheet that brings that all out, and also we do pay the fire department's workers' comp. So our number includes the fire department's workers' comp plus our own. Unemployment insurance, I increased that to 4,000. We do have one employee that goes out on unemployment. Last year, and I brought the paperwork because I found it very amazing myself, but the entire year half a year that we paid that unemployment, we had a credit of $3,789 going back to 2021, and I don't know how that occurred, but we didn't pay any of the unemployment because we've been coming against this credit. So we actually still have $343 left of the credit. This year, we'll be paying it out of our own pocket. We only have that little credit left. And it should be about $4,000. Disability insurance, again, is broken out between general and highway, so our share will be a little bit higher, it'll be $700. And hospital and medical insurance, where it says 31,000 for the modified budget here, that's probably gonna need about another 10,000 going into it because we had an employee and spouse who was not previously insured go on the insurance. So I'm gonna probably need a budget adjustment for this year. And then and there was also an 18% increase in the Blue Shield plan. And I have the 72,000 on there because I included the assessor's insurance into that number. So that number represents about the 42 for the people that are already here, the 18% increase plus the assessor's insurance.
Do you know the total for the assessor's insurance?
I do believe it would be about 22,000 if it's employee and spouse.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for general fund.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Back on, garage, it says garage contractual, we had 168,000 on last year's adopted budget. What does that get used for? One, page 3 of 6, it says on my kind of the budget.
Page 3.
You have superintendent of highways and then it goes to garage.
You're talking about the,
Garage contractual at 5132.4. And we adopted 168,000 and this year you got 70 in it. What's that money used for?
Heating fuel.
Isn't that garage money? For the new garage?
it's general fund, so,
It's gonna be fuel for the building.
yeah, but no.
Any other
168
maintenance for the
is-
building?
That's, we had a meeting where
Oh, I know what it was.
it was all across the board. One of you wanted to put 300,000 into it, one of you wanted
It
to put
was for the
200,000.
highway garage, it was to build the highway garage, that was the $150,000 that went into newer class.
Plus the 18 that was left in it, right? That makes the 168.
Yep,
So what is it, what was that money used for?
that was the $150,000 that went into newer class for the building of the highway garage. Remember, you're right, we did discuss having
You
300.
went across the board, you went right down.
Yeah, we went up and down, yeah, that's what that is the expense of putting the 150,000 into New York class where it still sits.
Oh, okay, it's still in there.
Yes,
Okay.
it's in the New York class account for the
And then we're
garage.
putting, there's 70 in the budget this year,
But
but does that get, what does that get used on? Because you're not gonna use it on a new garage.
no, 50,000 of it is for the C&D
Yep.
and 20,000 is for their real contractual expenses, their fuel and, mostly fuel, actually.
Are we budgeting anything for the new garage this year?
Nope. I don't feel that I'm gonna need to, and if you want, we'll finish this and I'll tell you why that is.
Okay.
Okay.
On the first page of revenues, appropriation of fund balance, you got $50,000 for C&D closure.
Right,
And then there's another 70, another 50 in this line that, where you're putting 70 into the garage? How's
well,
that
50, it has to be in the revenue and the expenditure, so it's in here.
It's the revenue coming out of,
The revenue is under the
The budget,
appropriated
yeah.
reserve.
okay,
That's the 50, that's gonna go into New York class for the C&D closure.
then what's this, the 70 we're putting in the garage?
That's the 50, that's the other end of this same 50.
You have to have a revenue and then you have to have an appropriation.
Yeah, so
I'm learning.
Okay, hey, that's fine.
If you don't ask questions, you can't learn.
No, good
Hey, at least I feel I know the answer, that's good.
good questions.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is, it's 50 coming in, 50 going out, and it has to show both ends to balance. And it will be added to the New York class.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think we have 6 more years to go before we have to close it. And we need 500,000, they said, so I'm obligated to put 50 in every year.
I don't think 500,000 is gonna even touch it. You had an engineer here that said it was gonna be closer to 750,000, and that was 2 years ago.
Well, they're the one that came up with the number, not me. I think I think they have plans to do something when they cap it, to make it smaller and the cap fit better, save money, whatever. Okay, so now we're on to highway. Revenues. Sales tax, the 100,000 that we always put in there. The service for other government, that's been the same for a while now, 269,713. Their interest, last year was 24,950, so I put 20,000. Sale of scrap was 500. And sale of equipment, 5,000. Last year, when it came to selling the scrap, they sold 2 trucks, so that counted for why it was so high. I don't know if they're going to try to sell the old tractor when they get the new one, I'm not sure what it's gonna be. So I just kept it the same at 5,000. Consolidated
Two
highways,
trucks, didn't we?
what?
We sold 3 trucks, didn't we?
The garbage truck, but that's general fund.
Oh, general?
Yeah, garbage truck's general and the 2
Dump
trucks.
truck and 2 Sterling dump truck, and we sold 1 ton and 2 dumps, didn't we?
I don't remember exactly what we sold.
Do we still own the Western Star?
What year is that one? Is that the 1999
Right.
one? I don't know what
We're
they,
gonna rebuild the motor on it, there hasn't been anything ever brought up about it, so is it just sitting up on the hill rusting? I haven't seen it, so I know it ain't running.
it's in the garage getting fixed.
Red one?
Is it?
I don't know.
I think it's fixed, I know.
So, we have 5 tandem dumps now that.
I believe, I'm not positive.
Okay.
I'm sure they said.
Well, we have 4 fairly new ones.
They took,
Yeah.
they took the one down to get the motor
Yeah.
rebuilt or something?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
red one, that's the red one, yes.
Yeah, and that's the last I heard, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it
That's
got
what
back
you
or
put.
not.
I don't remember paying anything,
Yeah.
it would have been a lot of money, wouldn't
Would've
it?
been a lot of money.
Yeah.
40, 50 grand, I would think.
I don't think they ever got back yet.
Yeah, I didn't get billed, I would remember if I paid something like that.
It's just another full-size truck that we should have thought about either selling or it should be back in service for winter plowing.
I think that's what he wants to do, is put it back in
The
service.
county took it down to the drive, I know that.
Well, the
Yeah.
county did the work for us.
The county took it for us.
Oh, to where it was getting.
Rather than, they didn't wanna drive it because it could hurt the motor even worse.
Yep.
So they had
Little head gasket, you wouldn't want
to
it
get a
back.
trailer or tow it down.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, so when it comes to the CHIPS revenue, this year we got 329,000, so I put 320 for that line, because we'll get at least that again next year. We don't have the reimbursement yet, it's gotta be into them by November 10th, and our check date will be sometime middle of December. Okay, so then, for the appropriations, personnel services, I did a spreadsheet for what their hourly rates were going to be. It's lower than last year because we lost 4 MEOs last year, or in 2025. And so new people coming in, some of them were laborers. One is attempting to get his MEO, his CDL. So when I did it with their lack of longevity, there's only one person over there with longevity now. It brought the salaries down. So I made it 450,000. And their contractual, well, with the increase in fuel costs, I put that at 65,000. And then 5112.2, that's CHIPS, so that has to equal the revenue, so I have that at 320. And then when it comes to the bridges, that's always been 5,000, I put it in there. Usually we might end up moving it to a different category, or maybe he will work on a bridge, I'm not sure. So I just keep it the same. Which,
Where does that money go? I mean, they've been collecting $5,000 for the last 8 years and
it would go,
it has been, nothing's ever subtracted from it. Bridges and the next one down, Russian Weeds is 5,000. There's
Yeah.
nothing ever taken out of either one of the counties.
well, because maybe they are doing brushing, but it got put into the regular salary code instead of being subdivided into the brush where it should be. You know,
Yeah.
however he puts in his time sheets.
I think we've used some of the bridges with some of the budget adjustments.
Yeah, yeah, we
So-
do use it there.
It ends up getting used for
In the
something.
budgets.
Yeah, in the budget.
Not in what it's under, but it gets used.
Right, we move it around sometimes. It depends what they're working on. The equipment line, that's a definite hard number, that's the tractor and the 2 trucks payments that we have, that's the exact number. The contractual, again, is, you could see that it's down a lot. That's really where the repairs and the cost of tires and, I think some fuel's even in there, so I put that at 85,000.
That excavator rental probably in there.
Yep, yeah, it would be. The brush and weeds is 2,000, that's always in there. Snow removal, contract, well, the snow removal .1 is the overtime, and that's a guess, and I put 85,000 there. You never know what it's gonna be. And then the contractual, I put 150. Last year we spent 112. This year, as of July, it was 151, but if you recall, there was that large amount of salt that was really 2024 expense. So that journal entry got done after that meeting, it went to fund balance. And you'll see that on your next financials, that number here, the 151 will be lower. And then state retirement, you see that 72.5. That's based off of the increased bill. Social Security is based on all the .1s. Workers' comp, that's the spreadsheet here that I do. Disability, 600. Hospital and medical insurance, that is lower because we now have several employees that don't have our health insurance. They get $200 a month from being insured somewhere else. So that brought our costs down. The retirees though, that one, that's the amount of people that are on like the Medicare Advantage and they're getting $200 a month for the Medicare. We have more retirees on the system now, so that's, I brought it up to 65,000. And fire district, I brought it up 3,000 to 95,000, but I haven't spoken to them yet. And this, the last page is just the other side of the fire department. So what I have in my notes then is to change the salaries to 3%, call Shay, set up a meeting, discuss car usage with her, discuss, is there anything else that you want me to change on here? I mean, I have plenty of time to mull it over and we're gonna be meeting again, so it's fine.
You were gonna explain the garage payments.
Oh, yeah, okay, good, thanks.
Question. You know how much off the top of your head that the tractor is per month?
Yeah,
Or per
I think
year?
I did.
It's
I don't know if I wrote them separately.
about 66,000, something in there.
I think it's 65.
Yeah, I just think it's quick numbers.
I think it's 65, but I can,
I missed a meeting that was talked about.
oh, so that's
Yeah,
really
that's probably
close.
right on, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I just didn't know
It's a
what,
little over 65, I think. 65 and change. I can get you the exact numbers if you
no,
want.
I don't,
have
I
them.
just did some quick math and I came up with 66 a year.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Ballpark, but I didn't know how much we spent on check. That's 5 years.
Yeah. And the other one, we have 4 left, so they're gonna end at the same time. I think are they gonna end at the same time? I think so. I'll have to look into that.
We didn't start paying for the trucks till January, so I'd say they're
February will pay,
February.
February will pay on the tractor, yeah. But I'll get you exact numbers, and I'm curious, cause I thought they were ending at the same time, but I don't see how that would be possible.
Unless you got 4 years.
Yeah, unless one of them's 4. I'll have to look.
Yeah.
But I wrote it down, so I'll remember. Okay, so I didn't make a copy of that, I really should. You guys mind if I just copy this so you have it?
What's that?
It's the fund balance,
Okay.
spreadsheet you wanted me to have.
Yep.
And this is as of September. Put that in through. So this is our fund balance as of September 30th of 2025. In the general fund, you look at the, I have my balance sheet with me, but you look at the balance sheet and it will tell you what the fund balance shows on that balance sheet. From that number, you add in your anticipated revenue, which is also in the financials on the revenue sheet. And you subtract the expenditures you have left to pay. And then subtract out the fund balance policy that we have for 3 months of expenses, which I do by taking the appropriations, divide that by 12, times it by 3, and that gives me an average. And then the fund balance that gets applied to the C&D closure comes off of that. And then the New York class garage account, that's the money, the $150,000 that we put away. We've earned another $3,208 on that so far. And then the occupancy tax reserve, at the time I did this, was $71,977. So that leaves us an actual fund balance of $267,033.88. That is what we would have available to us, extra from our fund balance policy. Now that will change every month as things get finalized, and at the end of the year, we will know the exact number of what our fund balance is. What my intention was is if the highway garage loan goes through, we have that 153, and if they tell me that the payment's 353, and we already have 153, we would be able to use this additional money of the 200, for the 200,000 we would need to add for the payment without affecting anybody's taxes the first year. And that way, if they know that we're into a bond, they would have a year to prepare to save. To come up with a payment now, if I were to put, first of all, it's not a guaranteed thing, so I wouldn't want to put it in the budget. But if we were to say 353 possible payment, put it in the budget and raise the tax rate, and then it doesn't happen. I mean, that's sort of what happened the year before, but it's nice to have this now, because if we do need to make a payment, we can do it without increasing anybody's taxes for this year. And that's what I'd like to do with it. Now, the highway fund, they have $690,000 on their balance sheet, and then their anticipated revenue minus their anticipated expenditures minus the fund balance for 3 months, leaves them 135,337. So what this means, if these numbers hold true, which they're gonna vary a little bit, that's what we'll have to start the year. We can dip in to the fund balance policy money to get us through till our revenue comes in, so that is a possibility. But you can see that it's not really that much money, but it is additional to our fund balance policy. So I don't know how you feel about that, but for me, if, it would be nice to be able to, let's say June, we need 353,000, and we know we have this, and we know we've got our garage account, we can make a payment and not worry about affecting this budget.
What's it gonna raise taxes the year after?
Hmm?
What's the tax increase the year after you pay for the garage?
Well, if we're in the bond, we would need to raise 353. So again, we would have to see what's our fund balance at the end of the year, how much can we use to do it. But yeah, taxes would go up that next year.
Do you apply for a bond anticipation note, or you already have a bond?
It would be, well, that's what the attorney's discussing with the people. Is it gonna be a ban and then a bond, or is it just gonna be a straight bond? He recommends a ban and then a bond. That's what our attorney would want to do, but I'm not involved in their thing. He's trying to find the best for us and look elsewhere besides this one person. And I just wanna make sure I've got the money, and I let Cedarwood know I don't wanna go over 4.5 million. I don't wanna go higher than that. So if we have to cut something with the garage, take 2 bays off and only have 8 bays instead of 10, whatever, that's what he's working on now, so.
Doesn't that start the engineering all over again?
No, we're using the same engineer, so
Yeah, but
they're just picking up where it left off, but I do need revised cost sheet. I do need to know how you're gonna come up with 4.5, is it go, like, what are the prices, have they gone up? I know they went up really high, now they're starting to come down, but I told him I don't wanna be higher than 4.5 million. So whatever we do to change the garage itself, in order to do that, it's all still being negotiated, I've got nothing final to say, other than if I have to come up with a payment, this is how I wanna do it. I don't wanna put it in the budget and,
you have to go through a whole new set of blueprints if you're changing the structure of the building.
well, the one person, the engineer that I did speak to said if I just took 2 bays off that end, that would just be an adjustment. It wouldn't involve the whole thing being redone, and we have the space if we wanted it to be the same amount of land space, only it would be cut off, and we could always add 2 more later if we wanted to.
Have you seen what they've done in Warrensburg at the transfer station?
No,
They built a brand new huge pole barn that they get all their equipment in.
a pole barn, but is it heated?
Well, they've got a part for trucks, and then they got a part for their graders, their backhoe. The whole building's already full, there's like 8 bays, I think.
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful pole barn.
I'll have to go see that, because I haven't.
If you drive in the dump, look to your left, you can't miss it, it's probably 20 foot tall.
So, I wanna answer your question that you asked a little while ago before I wanna talk about the transfer station. You asked about what it would do to our tax rate. So, the 353,000, if we have fund balance, that takes care of 2026.
Mhm,
But after that, it's gonna have to go on the tax bill unless we have some other source of revenue.
right.
And 353,000 on top of what we're already raising in taxes is going to raise the tax rate, what you've got projected here, which is gonna change with some of the numbers we changed tonight. The current tax rate calculation is $7.473 per thousand. It will add $1.99.3, so almost $2 per thousand, which if you add that on top of the, hold on a second. If you add that to the current tax rate, it's gonna be an increase of That's gonna be a 26.7% tax increase, and that's gonna go on for 25 years.
Only at the current assessed values. If those assessed values were increased to where they should be, instead of being at 62%, the rate would be lower, but the money would be the same.
We're still raising the same amount of money.
Well, that's
$200,000 house is gonna cost you $400 more a year. If it's going from 742, and you said it's gonna go up $200 per thousand, roughly you're gonna pay.
Yeah.
But you're saying that's for the next 25 years.
But we need the garage, that,
Oh, no, nobody disputes
Yeah, I
that.
know. But
I-
that's why I wanna do it this way, so people have time to save.
Yeah.
Instead of getting hit with it, they'd have time to save, and.
I've never disagreed with the need for the garage. I've been an
Yeah,
advocate for it
I
all
know,
along.
but it is, it's just so
I'm
much
just
money, I
concerned
wish
about
they
how
did
we're
it
gonna
20 years
pay for
ago.
it.
I do wish they
You
did.
said there's only so many pieces of property in this town.
Mhm.
The way that you bring it down is if the assessor can expand the tax roll.
Right,
If every piece of property that you add to the tax roll, in other words, if somebody has a house and they put an addition on and it wasn't added to their assessment and you go out and add that, it makes them mad because they got to pay more taxes, but it's the right thing to do because if they're not paying their fair share of taxes, then their neighbors are having to pay it. But every piece of property that gets added expands the tax roll and it makes it fair for everybody else. So if the assessor is active in getting those properties added, which they should get building permits, they should know from that, but let's face it, a lot of people build stuff without permits.
they don't.
There's a parcel for sale in Thurman, I won't mention any names, but there's a beautiful house on it, it's not even on the assessment roll.
Yep.
And the house has been there since 2008.
And I think that's, I mean, there was a time when the assessor was adding $1 million a year to the assessment roll with properties that have made upgrades or things that hadn't been caught before, or somebody took a mobile home out and put a house in and things like that. So, you know, those things happen.
We have all kinds of houses, say 8 to 10 of them that have sold between $500,000 and $8,000, yet they're still assessed at 3.
Right.
When
And that's-
assessments go up like that, something's gotta happen in the assessment roll.
That's all the work that she has to do, that's what she has to do,
And
every
once it's
single.
gone on, she doesn't have to do it anymore, there's not that many sales in town.
Yeah, but there's, I can tell you that she's been looking in the past sales too, not just current sales, but you can go back years where those sales weren't updated in the system. That's what she's working on now, she showed me, and,
Well, obviously, we've talked about this before. Town needs to do a revaluation.
yeah,
But that's something she can't do. She, as an assessor, first of all, she doesn't have the time or the resources, nor the training or experience to do it. That's not even something any experienced assessor does themselves.
mhm.
Towns farm that out.
Yeah, 95,000, Johnsburg did it last year,
Yeah.
because they had problems with the assessor. And the independent company that came in and did the reval said her numbers were right on the money, so they spent $95,000 and her numbers were correct anyways.
Oh, really?
But
How many homes are there in Jonesburg though? Do you know how many houses they have?
not off the top of my head, I know more about Thurman than Johnsburg.
I'm just wondering in relation to, you know.
Are you talking tax parcels or are you talking about how many residences?
Residences. Cause vacant.
How many
land-
residences in the town of Johnsburg, New York?
How many are there in Thurman?
They put residents, so it gives you the population.
Homes.
How many homes, yeah.
How many homes? in
How many
Thurman?
homes in the town of Johnsburg, New York? 1,714 housing units.
And in Thurman, 465?
I thought we had 6.
How many tax parcels in the town of Johnsburg, New York? They've got 3,567. We've got about 1,200. They
Yeah,
have 3 times as many
parcels.
parcels.
So you gotta
But
do
about
a-
this,
do a
how many homes
reval
do
for
they have?
this.
They had like 1,700 homes.
Hmm.
I think that's what it was. 1,714 housing units. we've got like 450.
465.
We had 670.
Well, let me see. Hey, Google's a wonderful thing.
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
How many homes in the town of Thurman, New York? 642. As of the 2000 census, that's a little outdated.
They tell you that though, huh? 2000 census?
Yeah, let me see. How many homes in the town of Thurman as of 2025?
You didn't even be specific.
It's still only estimating 642.
Mm.
I mean, probably the total number probably wouldn't change that many.
No, right.
I mean, new homes, there are probably not a lot of new homes being built. Okay, so we were gonna talk about transfer station. The two positions that we have there, I mean, we talked about, or I mean, at one point Ed was planning to do away with it.
I'm gonna have to ask Ed.
I just went to the Warrensburg transfer station, did a little tour today, and they run that transfer station with one attendant, one person.
Very efficient.
Very efficiently. That, have you ever been to that transfer station?
No, the Warrensburg one?
You
No,
should
but
go.
it's on my list to go, I'm gonna go.
It's very efficient. You pull in, you go up on a set of scales. Well, let me back up. You unload anything that doesn't have to be weighed.
Mm-hmm.
So they have all their containers just like we do, and you unload your metals, your recyclables and stuff like that. Then you go around onto the scale, 15 cents a pound.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's what they charge.
then you go unload it. And they don't charge separately for mattresses. Those get 15 cents a pound, all that stuff.
Everything's weird.
And I'll tell you this, I just looked, I actually got the rates that they charge for stuff. They're considerably cheaper than we are, and I've been told that their transfer station is a moneymaker.
Is making
They
money.
make money on it.
If you look at their budget every year,
It's all, there's no.
Because
But they're charging less than we are,
Yeah,
and they've only got one attendant, and they're making money on it. So, I mean, I wish Ed was here so he could talk about it, but.
yeah, I know, me too.
I weigh my kitchen garbage bag, the guy charges, the weight comes up, I usually haven't got anything, it costs me $1. If you come in with building material, you drive onto the scale, it tells you how much difference it is in scale. And you can pull up to your glass, your metal, you toss it in, you back down the road going out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's so much more efficient.
Yep. And they're using a compactor instead of a
Yeah.
truck to haul it. You can pull up, it's waist high, you just throw it over in.
It's like a big farm.
I'm gonna go see it.
It's definitely, we should be looking
I
at it.
looked at that waste compactor, not to get off subject, but I believe you can hook one up to a roll-up. The compactor itself is only about 15,000. We got a truck that costs us, what, 150 some thousand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the county,
And then what do they do when it's compacted? Somebody has to come pick it
the
up?
county also,
Oh, the county's hauling that.
just like they all our stuff.
Does it go in a dumpster or they pick them up
It
in
goes
a
in the
cube?
roll-off.
Okay, yeah.
The compact, they take a roll-off, they put it right into the face of the compactor.
Oh, okay.
Your trash slides down the compactor and it pushes up in that roll-off.
Mm.
And when the roll-off's full, that guy that you're talking about pulls that roll-off out and pulls another one in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty efficient.
One guy, and they've got the building so you can drive up on, and drive up and around the
Either
building.
side.
And when you drive in on one side, he tells you where you gotta go. When you pull on the scales, there's a thing on the building, lights up, tells you your weight. You drive around, unload all your stuff, go back on the scales, you see your weight going out. You walk in, he's got a cash register right there, and he rings you up and gives you a ticket right there. It's really efficient, and I mean, looking at that, and they're open 6 days a week, total of 51 hours a week I calculated, I think, and
So that one man's working oh, they have different people.
they might have somebody else, but there's only one person there at a time.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, I mean,
So we should send everyone to Warrensburg.
Oh, I go.
I don't think we should be saying that on camera, but hey, they're making money,
They are.
you know, and we're losing money on it. So,
Big money.
and like I keep saying, a lot of their rates on a lot of their stuff is cheaper than what we. TVs, no charge. Computers, no charge.
Well, I said ours was no charge.
No, we have no charge for TV, only the old version TVs, but the newer ones, like flat screens, there's no fee, computers, no fee, yeah.
I was right at the last meeting, he said it was free, but it hadn't been free, it was $15 a television for a long time.
Yeah, it used to be, but then there was this deal with,
E something,
the company that picks it up, Elon.
Eli.
Yep, so when I do the report, we don't charge if they don't charge, so that's how it has to work.
So just to give you an idea,
I think bad.
we've got on here printers and computers are $3 a piece.
Not anymore, that's old,
That's what's on the website.
well, that shouldn't be, because all
Okay.
electronics are free other than old TVs.
Okay.
Put a note about that.
Box springs and mattresses, twins, doubles, and queens, we're charging $15. They only charge 15 cents a pound. And a mattress doesn't weigh.
Well, I always thought it was kind of funny that you could bring a whole trailer into the town of Thurman dump, and it cost you less than a pickup load. Well, I know I can get a whole lot more on a trailer than you can get in a pickup.
Yeah,
What else? There was other stuff on here. I mean,
Batteries, I think, are free there. You can bring tool batteries, car batteries, boat batteries, lawnmower batteries. There's a little stand right there at the
Yeah.
guy's door.
cause this one still has charges. TVs, small TVs $10, mediums 20, and a large is 30.
yeah, that's old, I mean, that shouldn't be on there now.
Yeah, that's on the
All
website.
electronics have to be free,
Yeah.
because we don't get charged to haul it away.
Okay.
And the only one we pay for are old TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put a note to fix, that website got to be fixed, that can be down there.
Well, I guess one of the things I'm getting at is if Warrensburg's running their transfer station 51 hours a week with one person in attendance, why do we need two? I guess,
Well, we're only open 3 days a week.
but can't we cut that one person? I mean, we're not even open as many hours, so.
You're saving close to $50,000 for one person.
I mean, I thought Ed had proposed
He did.
doing away with the position, but then we were told he needed it. But
Yeah, he did.
now I'm questioning if they can do this, why do we need it?
Yeah,
What shocked me is last year's tentative budget, when I seen that you went to one person at the dump.
great.
I called the union, Alex Quintello, and he said, yes, you've made the decision that you're going to one person. And I said, well, the tentative budget paperwork just came out. Nobody knows that, but the union knows it. Yet Ed decided that we needed to keep.
Well, he hasn't said, Charlie asked me if he was still in it, and I didn't wanna not put him in if he is, so I put the number in there, but we really need to talk to Ed.
I mean,
What is the goal, because Charlie said he wanted,
Well-
Well, it's up to the town board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I know
not
that.
bad.
I know it's not up to
I
Ed,
mean,
but,
unless he can give me a sound reason why we
Right.
need two people there at a time,
yeah.
my recommendation is let's cut that second position.
Mhm.
While we're talking about taxes before this ends, have any of you thought about the senior citizens, the low income senior citizen exemption yet?
I went online and I did some research and I printed it all out, and it was my intention to talk to the assessors about it, but
Well, it's not, the assessors have nothing to do with it, it's made up by the board.
I realized that, but I wanted to talk to them because there was something that they had to have input on. I can't remember now what it was. That was 3-4 months ago I did it. I've got all the paperwork I printed out, and I agree, we should have.
Our numbers are 2008, I sit and look at the budget, people are getting raises, but that exemption hasn't changed since 2008. Johnsburg wants to go from 34,000 to get 50% off town taxes to 50 on this budget we're writing right now. That means you can make $50,000 annually between a household and you get 50% off your taxes,
Do you
town tax.
do you know the process? Is this like, do we have to go through Department of State to do
I
this?
don't believe so, I believe it's all on the board. I mean,
Just
you
by
can talk to-
Can
just
be
by
done just
resolution.
by resolution.
That's what Johnsburg's doing right now. It was written up in the journal last week or the week before. They're at 34,000 right now that you can make and get 50% off your town tax.
Can we we
they
get,
wanna go to 50.
get a copy of their resolution? See what they're doing?
What town is that?
Transfer. The only way I know that is because I read it in the journal. But I knew that they were at 34,000. They were at 12.
$12,000?
You can't make more than $12,000 to get 50% off your tax.
That is very,
I mean, I support doing
yeah, I do
senior
too, I
exemption,
didn't,
so
12,000.
I think we should,
Social Security's higher than that, does it
Yeah.
count Social Security?
Yes.
So,
If there's one person living in, it, based on the amount of income that is total income of who lives in the house. So if it's a husband and a wife, it's both their incomes.
okay,
Social Security,
counts.
yeah, it's kind of like making your state and federal tax out. That's what they're looking at, how much income you have coming into the house.
No, I would definitely
I
support.
believe that if you collect interest on a bank account or a CD, that's income into the house,
Yeah,
Social Security.
so 34,000 is 50% off your taxes.
And they wanna go to 50 this year,
Uh-huh,
26,
yeah,
which 34,000 is high, I think, but it's not 12,000.
no, yeah, that's, you said that's from 2008?
I believe it's 5 or 8,
Yeah, that's a long time ago, yeah.
that hasn't been changed or updated.
And, okay, I'll ask Jonesboro for their copy of their resolution, and we'll see what we have to do on that. Because I agree that that's really too low.
I've got one last thing I wanted to bring up, where is it? So last week I asked you about, whether or not we had to include the ARPA money in the budget.
Yeah,
I forget what you said. Can you tell me again how you explained that? Because I didn't understand it, to be honest with
that's
you.
okay, I can show it to you, there's a, in this Williamson Law software, they have the code, I kinda remember seeing that on the code on here.
A4089 or A688?
No, the 4089,
Okay.
So when, and it's just, I haven't done the journal entries, but when I get ready to, let's say 10,000 for the ramp, I know it's not right, but just use that number. 10,000 for the ramp, we've paid for the ramp.
Yeah.
The 10,000 gets put here, it's like a budget adjustment. The 10,000 would come in under the 4089 for the amount of the expense, and then it would increase the budget line where the expense is.
That's what I was saying last week, and I thought you were saying we didn't have to include it in the budget.
It's not in the budget, it's not in the budget,
It's not in the original budget, it's in a
It-
modified budget.
yes.
Okay, now we're on the same page.
It will modify it, just like a budget adjustment would, only this is,
So anytime, midway through the year, anytime you're increasing the amount of money that you're going to spend for the year, you're increasing the revenue line and you're modifying the budget to include or increase a revenue line
and your
and
expenditure.
your appropriation.
Exactly, yep,
Okay, that's what I was saying last week, because I remember going to the newly elected officials training, and they said you cannot spend any money unless it's in a budget. It's
right.
gotta be,
But
but-
you can modify the budget.
but what I didn't know, and this is what I found out from this, so I asked Google, so to get an answer, if a town could spend, federal aid without it being included in a budget and as a revenue source, and it says, no, New York Town does not have to include federal aid as a revenue source in its budget before spending it, but it must include it once it has incurred eligible expenditures. The aid is first recorded as a liability until the town meets all eligibility requirements and has incurred the related expenses.
Mhm.
At that point, it can be recognized as revenue
Yep,
using an account code like A4089 as described in guidance from the New York State Comptroller.
Yep.
So we're on the same page
Yeah,
now.
that's exactly right, and that's why that 688 that it's in is a holding account. Just like the judges in a 690, the 600s are holding, and then, like for now, we won't be spending all of it, but mostly all of it is going to move into that 4089 and increase the expenses that we have those negatives in and bring them out of negative.
Okay,
Yep, we're exactly on the same page.
good enough.
Okay, so I think we pretty much covered everything except our next meeting. So what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna set up a meeting with Shay, and I also need to talk to Ed about Charlie. And when do you want to, we'll have to, because we don't have a preliminary yet, so we're gonna need to finalize all of this. So if we are now at, say someday next week, maybe have a meeting, or
What's the date that we have to have the budget?
20th. But we should have the preliminary before the public hearing on the 6th.
Yes.
So I'm thinking we should really meet sometime next week, like, I don't know, this Thursday, the 30th work?
That's fine.
Okay. At least to get a preliminary.
30th?
Yeah, does that work for you? Okay.
So October 30th, we're
Yeah.
having what are we calling it, a special, what are we?
It'll be another workshop or a special meeting, however you wanna. All right, and then we'll set up the appointment prior to that to figure out assessor stuff and so that we know what numbers to have on the budget for that day. Okay?
Sounds good.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Thanks, guys.